Hey, what is going on, guys? This is SMB Reviews, and today we are taking a look at the fifth studio album from Cage the Elephant titled Social Cues. Let's get to it. I have a ton of respect for Cage the Elephant. First, their genre fusing sort of sound where they can do anything from 70s glam rock to some more 80s synthesized stuff. It is respectable. And ultimately, their genre would land just in an alt rock sort of area, but I do have a lot of respect for them. They have some really high highs, and that's with true credit to them because so many individual songs stand out so incredibly much within their discography. That being said, they're not always an album band, and that's not to say that every one of their albums is bad, but sometimes they're inconsistent. Well, I'm here to say that this is an album that is consistent. This album consistently does the same thing throughout the whole release, and there is some kind of credit to be given to that. Unfortunately, the consistency comes with just how really boring this release is, and I'm not at all trying to insult it, and it just doesn't come across as interesting at all. Most of the hooks on this album are weak. The songwriting is uninspired at times, and it just doesn't affect me personally. Now, I do want to create an important distinction in that I don't think that the band phoned it in. There's a lot of new sounds that they're exploring throughout this album, a lot of new instrumentation, and it is a very personal album for the lead singer, as Matt Schultz is ultimately going through a divorce at the time of the time of writing and producing this album. That he had to go through a tremendous experience that really affected him. So a lot of these songs will come from that place. That being said, it still doesn't really do much for me. A lot of these songs don't necessarily give off that emotional power that his divorce could have. It kind of just seems like a rehash of things that other people have done. And by no means am I saying that having an album about having a breakup album is necessarily signs for a truly terrible release, but this release just doesn't do anything with that breakup album concept. Furthermore, the other themes that are explored here are the immense pressure that is given with fame, and it's just one of those cautionary tales about fame, and it's not all that it seems. And again, never does it really go into anything new or inspired. Nothing here really grabs the attention or adds anything new to the commentary. And so at that point, when the lyrics are kind of uninteresting, you want the instrumentation to back it up. But ultimately, it doesn't. And there are some... It's not to say that the instrumentation is not skilled or good, but nothing about it necessarily stands out. Plus, the immense amount of genres that are thrown in here sometimes kind of it becomes jarring. Like songs like Night Running, which features Beck, is a dub reggae track, and honestly, it is just really obnoxious to start off with, and it really cuts up the flow of the album. It doesn't fit at all, and it doesn't sound stylistically like most of what the band has done, and not to say that they can't explore, but it just doesn't fit in with this album in the slightest. Ultimately, this whole album just comes across as pretty boring. Not many of these tracks really stand out to me. Now, I have been super critical throughout this whole thing, and I do realize that, so allow me to talk about some of the positives, because there are actually some good tracks here. Ready to Let Go was the lead single for this album, and honestly, it is one of the highlights. It's a foot-stomping sort of song that really works well. It does kind of go a little more into that glam rock sort of sound, and I do really enjoy it. It is a good, fun track. It's, again, not necessarily interesting lyrically, but, honestly, I do like it. It is a standout, and if the rest of the album had been up to this quality, yeah, this album would have been a little higher up for me. Also, Goodbye is an incredible track that closes out the album, a track that really shows the lead singer just laying it all out there, the intense emotional weight that is felt. And in an interview with Rolling Stone, it was said that they only did one take of his vocals because he couldn't muster up anymore. He just laid on the floor and delivered those vocals for the one and only time, as he would not be able to get through it again. It's heartbreaking and honestly a very good song, showing that the divorce take wouldn't have necessarily been a bad idea. It just didn't quite come off correct in execution with a lot of these tracks. Broken Boy and House of Glass are two tracks that again are adequate. It's not to say that they are bad songs, they just don't stand out, and that is the ultimate problem with most of this album. It's not a truly bad release, it just is uninteresting. It's hard to get most of these songs stuck in my head no matter how many times I've listened to it. And honestly, I just have a hard time really caring about this album or coming back to it, as most of the songs either kind of annoy me or just completely just brush off of my conscience and I can't recall them minutes later. It's not a bad release. I do have to stress that. It just doesn't have enough to really keep me drawn in and coming back for more. I feel kind of weird giving it this low of a rating, and I know so many people are going to hate this review because a lot of people do really like this. I've seen a ton of praise being given to this album. That being said, it just did not connect with me. I'm thinking about a 5.5 out of 10. What did you guys think? Like I said, I know a ton of people are praising this album, and I've seen some people try to say that this is the best album in Cage the Elephant's discography. I do not agree, that's for sure, and really, even taking some of the best songs out of here, a lot of them just don't hold up in the context of their discography as a whole. It's not a bad release, it's really not, it's just so unbelievably forgettable. But let me know what you thought. Thank you guys so incredibly much for watching this video. It really does mean a lot to me, and I will see you guys later.